Hi, this is the video corresponding to the lesson 3. In this lesson, we will study how the Mediterranean diet prevents aging and improve our health by producing changes in metabolism. These changes block the appearance of metabolic alteration that produce the disease that contribute most to aging, and at the end, the death. Aging is an irreversible biological process that begins at the onset of life with the accumulation of damage, resulting in a loss of function of organ and system. Subsequently, system dysfunction happens, which finally induce vulnerability and leads to death. Aging is therefore considered as a process where damage accumulation occurs over time. Aging affects human beings in different ways. In the individual, it decreases the happiness and well-being. And aging increases the number of jobs and the supply of service to care for the elderly people. The economy is also affected. And also, it affects society as workforce loss. More pensions have to be paid and higher healthcare costs. How explain the aging? There are different theories to explain the origin of aging. Some are called evolutionary. Aging is an evolutionary trait that can be selected. Some theories explain aging by the non-programmed stochastic accumulation of general or specific damage in the different organisms. Furthermore, there are thermodynamic theories. The energy is finite and the organism age and die when it is exhausted. The problem is that working with theory is quite complicated because the theories are usually particular, some are very general, some have not been tested, some are exclusive, and are usually difficult to prove. In summary, two general causes of aging are proposed: genetic cause and environmental cause. Genetic causes are associated with the existence of an aging program, while environmental causes are usually associated with generalized and non-programmed cell damage. A tool called the survival curve is used to study aging. It records the deaths that occur in the population over time. When all the individuals disappear, what is called maximum longevity is obtained. In addition, a second parameter called the half-life corresponds to the time required for half of the individual in the initial population to die. While environmental conditions don't modify the maximum longevity, the half-life of the population can be modified. The maximum longevity depends on the genetics of the species, while environmental conditions determine the half-life. The ideal curve occurs when the average life is close to the maximum longevity. That is the perfect curve. The life of an individual can be divided in two major phases. The first phase is called reproductive, in which genetic and programmed processes determine aging. In the second phase is called post-reproductive, in which aging depends on environmental conditions, for example, stochastic cause, damage accumulation. As we have seen previously, the use of theory is quite complicated. For this reason, another criterion is currently used to study aging. This criterion is called the hallmark of aging. A hallmark of aging is an evidence that the organism is aging. For an effect to be called a hallmark of aging, it has to meet three different requirements. The first, it should be present during normal aging. The second is that accelerated aging can occur if the hallmark increases. And the third is that aging can be stopped by slowing down the hallmark. At this time, 9 aging hallmark has been defined, but only 5 have a direct relationship with nutrition and therefore can be modified by the Mediterranean diet. The first of this is genetic instability, the production of DNA damage. The second is epigenetic alteration, a method of regulation gene expression that is altered during aging. The third is altered proteostasis, the body's mechanism for eliminating no longer valuable protein. The fourth is mitochondrial dysfunction. The mitochondrion is the place in the cell where most of the energy is produced. A disruption of its function leads to a loss of the cell energy capacity. And the last aspect is the lack of sensibility to detect natrin. The cell can detect the presence of natrin, so the insulin pathway is activated when there is an excess of natrin. AKT or mTOR protein increase cell growth, proliferation, and protein synthesis. In contrast, a pathway called AMPK is activated when natrin are deficient. This pathway, through phosphoprotein, block the insulin pathway and activate the autophagy process, which the insulin pathway inhibits. The activation of the AMPK pathway under low natrin condition produces the increase of mitochondrial metabolism, which produce energy with greater efficiency. The insulin pathway is anabolist, make new molecule, and the AMPK pathway is catabolist, destroy molecule to obtain energy. The insulin pathway is an anabolic pathway and therefore increase protein synthesis, DNA synthesis, cell growth, organism growth, and the ability to repair the damage. In contrast, the AMPK pathway is a catabolic pathway that activates metabolic pathway that allow energy saving and component recycling while generating less oxidative stress. The anabolic pathway is characterized by generating oxidative stress, low energy efficiency, and cancer, while the catabolic pathway generates less cell growth and slow the repair capacity. So the anabolic pathway is typical for young organisms, while the catabolic pathway is typical of adult or aging organisms. The mitochondrial dysfunction under low natrin condition, mitochondria generate a metabolism that produces a low level of oxidative stress and activate antioxidant defense that increase resistance to oxidative stress and block aging. An excess of natrin induces a large number of free radicals, which are molecules that damage lipids, protein, and DNA, leading to mitochondrial dysfunction that induce finally aging. The next hallmark is the epigenetic changes alteration. Epigenetic changes are chemical modification of chromatin, the junction of DNA and protein in the cell nucleus. These epigenetic changes modify gene expression by methylation of cytosine in the case of DNA, therefore the CpG island. Epigenetic changes occur through the chemical modification of DNA binding protein or histone. This modification can be phosphorylation, acetylation, and methylation mainly. For phosphorylation, the ATP-ADP couple is required. For acetylation, the acetyl-CoA NAD+ is required. And moreover, for methylation, the methionine alpha-cetoglutarate couple is required. All of them are products of metabolism. This means that metabolism in cell can modify gene expression by altering the epigenetic mark. Therefore, the Mediterranean diet, by modifying metabolism, can also induce changes in the epigenetic mark. Another process that is related with the aging is the calorie restriction. Calorie restriction is a process that can also increase the longevity and improve health of individuals. The Mediterranean diet is a diet that produces calorie restriction. It consists of decreasing the calorie intake by 10 to 40%, although the same effect can be obtained by decreasing the time of food intake through complete or intermittent fasting. Calorie restriction induces an increase in AMP, which activates AMPK, the catabolic pathway. Calorie restriction favors the catabolic pathway, a blockade for the anabolic insulin pathway, while activating mitochondrial metabolism, which increases the energy efficiency of the cell and improves the recycling of cellular components.